This is Ag Matters PM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network, brought to you by the Iowa Soybean Association. Your daily recap of the information that affects Iowa's farmers, producers, and consumers, right here in the heart of the heartland. With reports from our award-winning broadcast team of Dustin Hoffman, Riley Smith, and Mark Magnuson. Now, from the IARN studios in Des Moines, here's Riley Smith.
Well, good day and welcome to Ag Matters PM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network. I'm Riley Smith. Today is Wednesday, January 18th, 2023. We're so glad you could join us today. In today's episode of Ag Matters PM, I talk with Cattlemen's Beef Board CEO Greg Haynes. We also have a look at that ag weather outlook, but first, let's run down the markets.
It's time now for the Ag Matters PM Closing Market Summary, your source for market analysis and settlement prices from the day's trade in Chicago, courtesy of the folks at agmarket.net.
Well, we're at the end of another trading day in the ag marketplace, and for a bit of analysis, we go to Jacob Burks of agmarket.net. First off, Jacob, how did the grain markets look today?
Well, a lot of red on that screen today. You try to make news stories fit to the market trade. Sometimes you can get yourself caught in a whipsaw, and that's kind of what we're looking at here. Had a stronger day the last couple of days, simply based on some export news. Coming off of the report last week and some friendliness in what we have on our balance sheets. But today we probably took a little bit of profit taking. There's a lot of news stories, a lot of weather stories, South America that are calling for some continued rain. There's getting a little bit of rain now. It's a little bit heavier forecast here as we come in the future. And so that's global side of this thing, looking at what South America can produce on the export side in corn. What we're looking at in the mill side and how the private analysts have taken so much away from Argentina. Does these rains help? Just wait on the market a little bit. Some profit taking from the recent run up. Here we got to some very high levels. Some resistance areas kicked in there. Just saw a little bit of sell off here today.
So that leads to my next question. Right now, are we more on the weather market already, or are we still kind of maybe rubber banding back a little bit from the WASDE news last week?
Well, the underlying support in this whole grain complex is the fact that we are very tight supplies. Once again, we have set ourselves up next year to where we have to have a good production season. So that is that underlying support. That is what drives the market up. Just because there's little room for error. These weather markets that come in, South American weather forecasts that are going to be very pivotal to what is available in that export market. That's what's affecting these markets on a day-to-day basis. So as that weather report comes in and gets more solidified with other models running the same type of report, I think that news event can weigh on the market at times and also make the market jump a little bit too. But today they're kind of confirming that we should see some strong rains throughout the weekend. And the market got a hold of that and took it to the downside. Positive news, we did close 13 cents above the low of the day on the bean side of things. So it wasn't just a terrible destruction. We did hold the 200-day moving average in the corn market in the March contract. So it was not a total chart destruction. A little bit of pullback in these type of markets like this, when you're at the highs in some of these commodities, some of these contracts, you should expect to see some wild moves here.
Right, and then, with Brazil having such a bin buster of a crop, they're actually worried about storage right now and whether or not, they'll be able to kind of hold all of that crop. So I know that there's a possibility that we could see, quite a bit in the near term of Brazilian corn and beans entering the market just to make room for that crop. Could we see some pressure in the near term from that?
Absolutely. I mean, you got, anytime you have a dramatic change in supply like that, you have to look at infrastructure. They've been building infrastructure from the rail system to their ports, getting more adequate, more efficient to handling large number of grain. The other thing that you have to worry about too, and one of the fears that I have, is one of what we call like a black cloud. It's not a black swan because we know a little bit about it, but a black cloud out there is the political unrest and the changeover from one president to another. And the strikes, and we're seeing things in certain parts of South America, but if that type of mentality comes up into Brazil and you start seeing road closures and just other dramatic ways to affect the flow of the grain, that could be a big hurdle for Brazil to get over, which would be beneficial for us. But right now we will see pressure because they're just starting to harvest soybeans. and those are hitting the supply, hitting the export market. That will eventually shut us down pretty quick on what we're exporting out in soybeans.
All right, and then what are we seeing on the other side of the marketplace in the livestock complex?
Well, there's a really, really quiet day here in the live cattle market. It was 10 to 15 cents. I mean, probably one of the more boring, low activity days across the live cattle cash market. You haven't seen a whole lot. You've seen a market pull back just a little bit of a wide spread there in what's being offered out west. But you're looking at some weather coming into there. You're looking at some opportunities for the packers are still making money. Box beef is still relatively strong. The cash model, they're able to get active, buying some cattle right now around that 158 to 159 area. And I think that's something that, weights have come down. It's showing that the cattle numbers are there, but right now they have a profit margin that's decent. The feeder cattle are just, seeing some pressure in the front months, and the back months we actually up $1.50 right now. What was a pretty notable change here today was the hog market tried to catch us some support, tried to find that bottom seasonally. And today we just gave it all back. We're down $2 here in some of these back months, or in the June contract anyway. That was, the reports and some news, regarding Chinese demand for pork and what their hog prices have done. That could weigh on the market a little bit today as some of those reports released. But yeah, an ugly day in the hog market. Cattle were pretty flat, pretty positive in the feeder cattle out in the back months.
Well, lots of great information today, Jacob. For those of our listeners and our viewers who would like to get in touch and learn more from the folks at agmarket.net, how can they do that?
First of all, you can come see us at our meeting in February. We're having a conference down in Nashville. Look on our website. You can find that information on the top band. But just to encourage you to sign up for our agmarket.net intel. That gets all of our commentary sent right to you.
That again was Jacob Burks of agmarket.net. We'll go ahead and take a look at how those numbers close. That's courtesy of the folks at Bar Chart. March corn is down 4 even at 681 1/4. December new crop down 2 3/4 at 601 even. March soybeans down 15 1/4 at 1524 1/2. November new crop down 19 even at 1374 1/4. March soybean meal down 310 at 478.10. Soybean oil up 28 cents at 64.12. Chicago wheat down 9 1/4 at 742 1/2. Minneapolis spring wheat down 15 even at 901 even. Kansas City hard red wheat down 14 1/4 at 841 1/2. March oats down 1 even at 370 1/2. On the Merc, February live cattle down 20 at 156.80. January feeders down 15 at 179.50. February lean hogs down 112 at 77.32. Pork cutout down 137 at 85.22. January class 3 milk down 2 cents at 19.46. And that's been a check of the markets here on Ag Matters PM. We're going to go ahead and take a quick break to hear from our sponsor, the Iowa Soybean Association and the Soy Checkoff. When we come back, I talk with Cattlemen's Beef Board CEO Greg Haynes. This is Ag Matters PM.
Iowa Soybean Association is driven to deliver for Iowa's 40,000 soybean farmers. We're proud to provide objective agronomic research, a helping hand with soil and water stewardship, and timely industry news powered by the Soybean Checkoff. Learn more at iasoybeans.com.
Welcome back to Ag Matters PM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network. I'm Riley Smith. Well, with the beef industry, there's a lot of misinformation that can float around, especially when you get to the internet. There's just people can post anything, and honestly, a lot of times the wrong information gets to people and it just gets accepted as fact. That's why we have the National Beef Checkoff, which uses funding to go for research, promotion, and other endeavors to make sure that the proper information is out there for everyone to know. So I had the chance today to talk with Cattlemen's Beef Board CEO Greg Haynes about how exactly they use the funding to accomplish that. First off, Greg, just tell us a little bit about what the Cattlemen's Beef Board does, what the Beef Checkoff is all about, and what it's for.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Riley. So the Cattlemen's Beef Board, we're based here in Denver, Colorado, and we manage the National Beef Checkoff program. So the program was started in 1986, and it's designed to really be an industry self-help program to help promote beef and make it center of plate, especially compared to a lot of the other proteins that are out there. So we want our protein beef to be, the number one selection. So we work with that. We collect the funding and use it to allocate out to different programs. And again, all really designed to drive demand for our product.
Right, and that funding, just a little reminder, comes a dollar from every sale of livestock, right?
Exactly. Every time a cow animal is sold, a dollar is collected. So half of that dollar will stay in the state with the state beef council there, so they can do local activities, or they could put it up to national programs as well, or kind of do whatever they want with it. But that other 50 cents from every state does go to national. And so that gives us kind of the economies of scale and ability to do those bigger programs. We can do large scale research programs. We can do larger promotions. The whole Beef It's What's for Dinner programs are all developed on the national level. And then those can be carried down to a local level too. The states can utilize all those assets that are developed on the national level and customize them, and then use their grassroots abilities kind of to reach out to consumers in each of those areas.
Right, and that misinformation is such a big thing that we have to deal with in the ag industry, and I would say especially in the beef industry. There's people who are saying it's damaging to the environment. They're saying it's not nutritious as it it would be. So what are some of the ways that you guys are fighting that misinformation and showing what the beef industry and how beef nutrition really is?
Right. And that's really what the whole checkoff is designed for, is to help address these misperceptions that consumers have. Like you were saying, beef is kind of being blamed for, global warming and all this. And we know that really beef has a great story. Beef is a recycler. Cattle are recycling forage and plant material that really can't be used by humans or anywhere else. So they're eating this and creating high quality protein. And really, when you look at greenhouse gases and everything, cattle are producing those in a cycle. It's a circle. We're not emitting new gases into the air. So any kind of greenhouse gases that come out, the methane or whatever, is reabsorbed by plants. Cattle eat the plants, goes into the air, reabsorbed by the plants. So it's really a closed cycle, and people don't understand that we're not emitting new greenhouse gases. If you're looking at fossil fuels, yes, they're all putting new greenhouse gases and adding those into the environment, but really the cattle cycle isn't. So getting this message about the sustainability, the positive environmental impact, you have cattle grazing on lands that, again, wouldn't be suitable for any other kind of crops, but by tilling with the hooves and fertilizing with the manure, we're actually increasing a lot of the, plants that can be growing on those lands. So we have such a great story. So being able to quantify that with the research and then getting it out, again, is essential for our industry.
And then not only is beef sustainable, but it is a great part of a healthy diet as well. So just talk a little bit about how that Beef It's What's for Dinner promotes that beef nutrition to show people that adopting a good amount of beef into their lifestyle is really a healthy change.
Right. And nutrition research has really shown that beef is essential for the diet, really at all ages and all stages of life. And so by being able to conduct this research and show the benefits for all the way down from infants to, aging adults, the nutrition and the nutrients that are in beef are very unique. And really, beef is the best source to be able to get that to create a very healthy lifestyle and environment for you. So we're able to use that information again to reach out to doctors, to nutritionists, to help kind of dispel some of the misinformation that had been produced earlier. There's a whole story and book, The Big Fat Lie, that talks about how fats kind of became the target for being bad for your health, when in reality it's not. So this information can help counter all that, and it really shows that the fats and the nutrition and vitamins, minerals in beef really are essential and are good for you, and you can eat it every day as part of a balanced diet and be much healthier than you would be without it.
Right, and that's one of my favorite things personally that I see from the promotion side, is seeing those recipes that are posted online and just showing that beef is really affordable and accessible for just the average consumer.
Yep, exactly. That's what the checkup does, as well as showing consumers how to prepare beef. One of the good things about beef compared to, say, chicken or other animal proteins is we have so many different cuts. There's so much versatility in the product. And that's a huge advantage, but it's also a challenge because consumers don't necessarily know how to use all those different cuts or the best ways to cook and prepare those. So the checkoff has really developed a whole library of different ways to cook each different cut. And as we saw, especially during COVID, when people were at home and they weren't going out and they were doing more cooking, we had all that material ready for them. So they were able to just go on, find ways to cook and prepare all the different cuts that they were finding in the stores now, since they weren't going to restaurants and stuff. And it actually really boosted consumption of beef, and that's staying high. So consumers now see, like, hey, beef isn't really that hard to prepare. Super delicious. It's good for me. So they're keep preparing beef at home. And what we're seeing now is that demand for beef was really at 30-year highs and staying at those levels.
That again was Cattlemen's Beef Board CEO Greg Haynes. As for right now, let's go ahead and take a look at that ag weather outlook. Well, across much of the upper Midwest, we have a winter system going through, and especially to the west and through most of Nebraska, there's quite a bit of snow coming down, and that also extends into southwest and northwest Iowa. So be cautious if you're going out and about today. Could see a bit of that snow coming down. For the rest of the state, we're looking at a bit of freezing rain and then potentially that wintry mix, some snow in there as well. So still a chance for hazardous road conditions. So let's go ahead and take a look at what the National Weather Service has in store for the next 24 hours. As you can see from the National Weather Service, winter has finally returned. Today we have snow or wintry mix across the state with winter storm warnings and winter weather advisories, highs ranging from the upper 20s to upper 30s. Tonight there will be heavy snow or a wintry mix, that heavy snow especially in the northwest part of the state, lows ranging from the low 20s to mid 30s. And tomorrow there'll be a chance for snow and then windy conditions, highs ranging from the mid 20s to upper 30s. And taking a look at the affiliate weather map, Cherokee will be cloudy and snowy with a high of 25, Shenandoah snowy and windy with a high of 30, Des Moines cloudy, snowy, windy, and a high of 33, Waterloo much of the same, cloudy and windy and snowy with a high of 32. For more detailed forecasts in your part of the state, make sure to check in with your local Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network affiliate. That's been a check of the Ag Weather Outlook, and that also brings us to the end of this episode of Ag Matters PM. You can find all of our content on our website at iowaagnet.com. You can also follow us on social media at Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and LinkedIn. And you can find all of our video content as well as previous episodes of AMPM on our YouTube channel. So make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell to see when those videos go live. Don't forget as well our free Twice Daily Market podcasts on Apple, Amazon, Google, Spotify, and Podbean. From the IRN studios in Des Moines, I'm Riley Smith. On behalf of Mark Magnuson and Dustin Huffman, we thank you for watching. This has been Ag Matters PM.